Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 381, I do believe. My name is Mel Popeye Moss, my co-host, Mel O.G. Robbins. We are with Sons of Liberty Riders MC, who brings you this Texas Biker Radio show each and every week, along with the help of a few of our friends. And good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing just great, enjoying the hell out of these better temperatures.
Man, isn't it something else? It's beautiful outside, and walk around in a t-shirt. I mean, it's what a great day for riding and just plain messing around, huh?
Absolutely. Very rarely have worn a jacket.
That's right, and we'll be going over to the stockyards tonight here, maybe in a couple hours, and be having some fun over there. So can't wait to get out there and ride with my buds. So Mel, man, where to start at? Let's let's talk a little bit again about that ice cream men from hell that we talked about in the last radio show.
Yeah.
Mel, as it turns out, and a little bit further research, I had mentioned that they had, had some wherewithal, maybe somebody had some money stashed back or whatever else, but they did hire a production company to produce the movie that you saw. What is that? American MC? That's the reason the quality of the program was so good, and like you said, the Hells Angels probably had to check off on that in order to take part in that program. Kind of interesting to see that a motorcycle club, or a proposed motorcycle club, had the wherewithal to actually hire a production company to make a film, a video, whatever you want to call it, and post it on YouTube. And matter of fact, it was of good quality, and it was impressive, huh? I must have put you to sleep again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hell, I had it on mute because I was coughing.
There you go. Well, that'll definitely stymie the conversation.
I was sitting here chatting away, wondering why are you still talking?
Okay. Well, we can cut this out, but we probably won't.
Well, basically, what I was talking about was, I got the distinct impression that the money behind the whole thing is the wannabe leader of this wannabe MC.
Yeah,
I think he's the money behind it. He's trying to get some big production together. I was a little amused at one point. I do know that 81 had to approve any part they had in it before it was, put out there. But did you notice in several scenes where the 81 patch was blurred out?
Yeah.
And, that is typically done only when, it's a thing they do in Hollywood, where if they're going to show a brand of something,
right,
or a logo,
yeah,
unless the owner of that brand or logo is willing to pay money to be shown,
right,
in that film or movie or documentary or whatever, they blur out the trademark,
right,
and or product, which I thought was a little hilarious because everyone damn sure knows that that's 81. So
yeah, and Mel, and you and I, who have both participated in background acting, know how they are about having brands show up on your clothing. And
Oh hell, I've had red tape put over
yeah, yeah,
on a jacket that I wore. I mean, the embroidery was red,
yeah,
but they still put red tape over it to make damn sure that that logo didn't show up
exactly.
in the filming. So,
Yeah, it was. It's all interesting, and I thought, that those particular that particular film was really on the lighter side of compared to what we're used to seeing about motorcycle clubs.
very true.
Yeah. So, kudos to them, and we'll see where it goes. See if it takes off. Who knows? Maybe they'll end up on regular television, but I doubt it because there's not enough crime, there's not enough violence, there's not enough stuff that fits the narrative, right?
Yep.
So it may make it onto TV as a comedy, but I'm not too sure any 1% club wants to participate in a comedy. We'll see. We'll see. And
they do act like a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. And Mel, let's talk about right now. Let's shift gears and go over here to Fort Worth, where they're still participating in motorcycle profiling. And I talked about in an alert I sent out about the Blacklands chapter that was stopped and harassed. They were profiled, but we call it harassment. They were harassed just not too far away from the toy run. They just left, and they said they were stopped for failing to failing to stop. I guess at a stop sign or a light or whatever, but yet they weren't. They did not receive a single citation for failure to stop. I guess they were showing the Christmas spirit by letting them roll on and saying, "Hey, we're really just stopping you to update our database."
Get some new pictures of license plates.
New
stuff
pictures,
like that.
license plates, tattoos. I mean, and searches. Oh yeah, going to frisk them. That's the Christmas spirit, man. Nothing says Christmas like a profiling stop, right?
Absolutely.
So.
Keeps you right in the spirit.
So as ridiculous as all that stuff is, I mean, and we here in Texas, we know the red and gold is the number one targets, but that doesn't mean they're not capable of checking everybody else out, as we've seen in the past. Mel, there is a list out there of the most dangerous gangs that exist in Texas and in Fort Worth, and Mel, you hear nothing. Nothing. No successes. No successes with the drug cartels. No successes with stopping murders that take place all around the DFW area in North Texas. No successes. But the one success you will hear about is, by God, we pulled over them bikers and we profiled them. We didn't find a damn thing, but we profiled them. There was no probable cause, but we profiled them. And if they weren't in a database, well, maybe we just put them in one right now. Now, I'm asking all motorcycle clubs right now that are profiled like this, and if there's a major crime that happens nearby, what the hell were they doing? What the hell did they miss for all this silliness that's going on with their databases? Because, Mel, as we pointed out, the type crimes that are being committed around this state, around these cities, motorcycle clubs are not involved. But young gang members are. Real gangs. Young high schools are. Real high school students. And, Mel, they're murdering each other at a pretty good clip. It's absolutely incredible. But, by God, we're going to profile everybody. Get them all into my database, says the governor. And they run out there blindly doing it. While crime is everywhere. Frickin' everywhere. And you know, we want to give a shout out to all clubs that stand up to this mess and don't opt for plea bargains and say, hey, I want to go to court. And Mel, as we know, the Blacklands had just recently won their day in court against the Fort Worth gang unit. And Mel, do you think this may have been some reprisal or just circumstance?
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't either.
I would not put them past it. Put it past them to do a little harassment over that.
Mm-hmm. But they would have to have done their homework in order to do this. And we will ask for the body cams in this situation. We will ask for them. Oh, and Colleen PD, we haven't forgot about you yet. And we won't. And Mel, speaking of Colleen in that area, Milam County, Texas, where Patrick's trial, his next pre-trial, is December 13th. So that's creeping up on us. And so we will make a move to notify the public before his trial date, which is on December 16th, unless something happens on the 13th, like the judge grows some balls and dismiss the case. Because
they'll probably push it till after the first of the year.
Yeah.
That would not shock me at all.
Yeah, and Mel, like our president, Patrick, is not being allowed to face his accuser. And his accuser would be the person that put him into the database. How and why? Because he has no criminal record. And the fact is, regardless that the banditos are listed in the Texas Gang Threat Assessment Report, that club has been convicted as a criminal organization. So what the hell are they doing? They're getting away with violating our constitutional rights. Because they talked the legislature into creating a law that allows them to do this mess. And the legislature has no clue what they're doing. They had no clue of the ramifications this would have on our constitutional rights. Then again, maybe some did. But as we can all tell, police officers are not constitutional scholars. Matter of fact is, they could give a damn less about your constitutional rights. By God, we're going to do what we're going to do. Come on, boys, let's harass the bikers. Let's do it. That was the call from the Lake Dallas Police Department. Yeah, let's go harass the bikers. You want to join in? Come on. The call they gave out to other police departments. That's some kind of police work, ain't it? But it's safe police work, Mel, because the bikers are going to comply with what they ask. It's a safer bet than going out and chasing a real gang that may be connected to a cartel. You know, Mel, I don't know what happens when they now the out in D.C. the call is to make these cartels as terrorist organizations. Now, Mel, that happens. I mean, what do you think happens with bikers that may have some connections with these gangs? Or then again, Mel, maybe not have any connections with it, but by God, they've got the ability to make you connected with them, whether you are or not. What do you think?
Well, you know, the first thing and primary thing is you cannot trust law enforcement. You just cannot trust them. You can't trust the Good Old Boy Network because it's self-serving. They cover for one another, and they're just going to keep it up unless we keep pushing back. And as we keep pushing back, we'll notice that it starts to lighten up a little bit, which we have noticed a little bit in a lot of areas around here.
Yes.
Fort Worth, I think, is going to be one of the last strongholds. But they're not being terribly aggressive either. And I've noticed that their gang units, since that stockyard scenario, and they made such an ass of themselves through that whole thing, has been a little milder in its actions than they have been in the past. So, you know, again, our thought process of let's start pushing back, I think, is successful to a certain degree. Now, there may be some people out there that want to argue the point, and we've certainly heard some of it, but when you look at the overall picture, and when you stand at a Council of Clubs meeting and ask for a show of hands on who's been stopped and profiled lately, and there's only one or two hands that go up out of a few hundred bikers, I think that starts to tell a story.
Yeah. And Mel, we don't want everybody to get us wrong. We don't want profiling to stop. Oh, no. We want to keep it going. Hey, look, we need more videos. We want more videos. And, you know, we want this profiling because they will say some of the most stupid, asinine things we've ever heard.
You're right. You know, it's a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
If profiling stops altogether, we got nothing to go to the legislature with because they're going to say, well, what do you mean? You know, if there's no profiling going on, why do you want legislation passed to stop it? So it just means that we have to be more diligent and make damn sure that any profiling stop that's done, we get the information so we can get the video and continue to build a video library.
Right.
And, you know, furthermore, we are not trying to build the library just for the state of Texas. We've got activities going on in other states. We were talking with our chapters last night, about stuff that's going on in other states, Arizona, New Mexico, Tennessee, and we're telling them, look, get us the information on these videos so we can start a central video library.
Yes.
So that we can trade between states. I know there's a move on at a federal level too, but to really get some teeth in this thing and get it strengthened, you've got to have it pass at a local level to get strength in it.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, so far at a federal level, it's kind of like a declaration more than a prohibition. Where they're just declaring that, hey, there's motorcycle profiling and it needs to stop, yada 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 yada.
Mm.
But there's no teeth in it.
Yeah.
And the local law enforcement guys aren't really going to pay attention to it. If you can get something passed at a state level and get a few teeth in it, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now you'll see some results.
That's true.
So where, if, now they're setting themselves up for potential lawsuits.
Yes.
If they profile. And so that's why we're pushing so hard. But at the same token, we don't want to be slapped around out there either. So, we're saying push back. Keep pushing back. I think as we request these videos, the message is getting out there with law enforcement of, hey, somebody's requesting videos. They're gathering data. Maybe we need to be more careful.
Yeah.
So you can bet that that's going on too. So it's a double-edged sword. We just have to keep pushing.
Yeah. Now we know in this state, in Texas, the DPS, which is nothing but the Highway Patrol, they keep tabs. They know what everybody's doing, or they try to. Now, there's a lot of cases, because of what we see going on out there and what we know is going on out there, and what the law enforcement thinks they know what's going on out there, they don't know shit. Oops, Mel, I probably put us into another category since I said that. But, they don't know. And we've actually seen them on film where they're talking about other clubs and stuff, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it's obvious by they are, what do we call it, Mel? They're target fixated. So they miss the whole picture because they're fixated on one target. Now, we've talked about this before, and we've said this is a reason law enforcement will miss the next big thing that's coming along. Whether it be a mass shooting, whether it be a terrorist attack, they're going to miss it because they're fixated on the wrong things. And Mel, over in Dallas, they're just running every which direction. And in Fort Worth, they're fixated on the red and gold, and not much of anything else, as far as I can tell. Oh yeah, they've now got their citizen review boards, and I can't wait to see that start swinging into action. But then again, it's gonna make them their behavior. It's going to affect their behavior towards citizens. But now I don't think it'll affect their behavior toward bikers, because we're viewed in a different light than, say, a minority is. But we'll see as our civilian population continues to spin out of control. and it continues robberies, murders, and just heinous crimes of all types at a record pace, whether it be here in Texas or whether it be in Chicago, LA, or any place else. New Orleans. I mean, we're just saying. But, wow, Mel, any final comments on that? What's going on in Fort Worth?
No, I think, it is what it is, and we just got to keep watching. We got to work with it.
Mel? Yeah, go ahead.
And we gotta stay a step ahead of them.
All right. We'll work at that. And sooner or later, Mel, because I'm not getting an answer back from the Inspector General. Number one, I'm going to post my letter to the Inspector General on December the 7th. That's about, 3 days away?
Yeah, I think, we need to demand some answers.
Yeah. And that's my birthday, so I feel that's a good way to celebrate my birthday, to put the letter out there so all my brothers and all the motorcycle clubs out there can read the simple questions I asked that are honest questions that they should be able to answer without revealing any of their super secrets, don't you know? Without revealing any of their identities, don't you know? We're not asking for that. We're asking for simple freaking answers. But look for it on December 7th if I don't hear from that broad by then. Now, hey, look. I wrote a story last night in TexasBikerRadio.org. And today I'm pissed off at myself because I got it written out. And then somehow I got sidetracked last night. And I didn't push the button to publish it. And when I came out to the computer this morning and looked at the screen, it wasn't there. So I got to do that all over again. But we're going to talk about it right now because it's so much fun. And it deals with Parker County, Texas. Yeah, it's over there in the Weatherford area, But Mel, listen to this. They got a judge over there. His name's Judge Mark Riley. Oh, yeah. Well, Mr. Riley, Judge Riley, he's been run out of town on a rail. Now, this judge, Mark Riley, he's really good. He's really good friends with old Sheriff Fowler over there. Mel, and when you look up there and you see somebody as crooked as this judge is, you just gotta know there's more to it than just this judge. I mean, there's a good old boy system going on there. But hell, let me tell you what this judge did. Turns out they needed a secretary in his office. Well, the old judge stepped up there and says, I know a candidate. She's not qualified for crap, but I know a candidate. So he hires this young lady. Well, it turns out they got this thing going on, Oh, yeah, they got this thing going on. He hires her. She's not qualified for nothing. And, Mel, the other county employees are looking at this and they're going, and especially the women, man. The women, because a new woman comes in, a young, pretty-looking woman, I guess. I'm just thinking, not a picture posted of her. But anyway, hey, Mel, in her first year, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
her first year, he gave her a pay raise. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, Mel, a $27,000 pay raise. And so this is going on. All the other employees are watching all this, and I guess somehow they, it's public record when you have employees there, and somebody can find out what each other's making. And so they're, Mel, it was a quid pro quo that involved hiring, that involved money, and involved Nookie. So I guess this was Nookie Gate in Parker County. Mark Riley was reprimanded by the county commission for having a sexual relationship with an employee. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, this all came down in 2017. It's taken till now to run his butt out of town. And, why in the hell would it take that long? Would it be because he's getting all his constitutional rights? Could it be because people were trying to protect him? Could it be because he's a buddy of the sheriff, Sheriff Fowler out there? I mean, come on. It took them 2 years to figure this out. But maybe they just had to put a tail on him, taking pictures and stuff, I don't know. But when he was asked about the investigation, I'm not responding to that. So the commission finds that Judge Riley's failure to cooperate in the investigation and other enhancing factors in making their determination. And it's crazy, Mel. It's crazy. Why people in these positions go out there and do these stupid things that they know is wrong, but Mel, 9 times out of 10, they frickin' get away with it.
Well, I was going to say, I think everyone is so damn tired of sitting back and watching all of this crap go on, and nobody can seem to do anything about it. Mm-hmm. It just perpetuates itself. Mm-hmm. It's like waking up inside of a bad dream. All you can do is watch what in the hell's going on. You got all these bad actors that are in office, pandering to this crap. And it just goes on and on and on. It's kind of like this impeachment thing that's going on right now with Trump. Mm-hmm. It's got to be one of the most frustrating things in the world for people to sit and watch.
Yeah.
With their jaws on the floor.
Yeah.
How the hell is stuff like this going on? No one's being held accountable that's within the government or these local agencies. They just seem to do whatever the hell it is they want. And I'm telling you, sooner or later, there's going to be a spark out there that's going to ignite something that's going to become god-awful. Mm-hmm. It's just, and I'm not trying to promote any kind of violence or anything like that, but, there's got to be a frustration level that's building up within a lot of people that sit back and watch this. And sooner or later, and it keeps getting closer and closer to the edge, and you wonder, okay, what's going to ignite this? Because something will.
Yeah.
And now, maybe it's going to be the 2020 election. Something is going to ignite one hell of a god-awful thing that's going to happen within this country. But people are fed up with these people that have been elected. They're fed up with these civil service employees that think they're God's offering to the public, and the public works for them. They don't work for the public. People are not going to react nicely once the lid blows. It's going to be like a pressure cooker with a top blows off.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people are going to need to run for the hills, for the swamps, whatever.
And Mel, let me correct one thing real quick. So that wasn't in her first year. She received 3 pay raises and was later promoted, receiving $27,000 more than her initial salary. Her initial salary was $33,000, but man, by the end of 1 year, she was making $60,000.
She must be pretty good on the couch.
It gets even better. She resigned when all this was found out and filed for unemployment benefits. So now we're paying to keep her.
Right.
So Mel, it just goes to show you here. This judge, crookeder than crooked, and as we look around Texas, and we know about these small towns, these small counties, where they're just all as crooked as hell. Waco, Tyler, Parker County, they all fit the mold of the good old boy system. And so, and there are major cities that fit that mold too. And they get away with all kinds of nefarious crimes. Because either they're an elected official, they're an appointed official, but just about every other month you can find somebody that's gotten in trouble for the things that they do as an elected or an appointed official. It's absolutely incredible, and we're focusing on a few counties that are the worst, and a few cities that are the worst. But this kind of stuff goes on all across the nation.
Oh, I was going to say, I certainly wouldn't want people to think that it's only happening in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
There is crap going on everywhere that is just unbelievable. Elections that happen where people become elected, and then it's published in the newspapers that there were more votes counted than there are registered voters in a particular area, and the person still ascends to office, and nobody does a damn thing about it.
Yeah.
Perfect example was that dipshit senator from Minnesota that had to resign because of improper sexual situations. I can't even remember his name now, but he was the second Democratic senator in Minnesota, and he came from the stand-up comedy clubs.
Oh, yeah.
In Minneapolis. That was his background.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And he finally had to resign.
Yeah.
Well, karma caught up with that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And here you go, the last remaining Democratic senator that was elected just before him, who is now she's a female running for president. All the locals know all about her and her infamous children who throw drunken parties that she knows about, and she allows it to happen.
Yeah.
And that's all known locally, but you don't hear about any of that crap coming out nationally now because she's a liberal. and the liberals, just like, that thin blue line, they seem to cover for everyone. And, she continues in office.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I can remember one of my sons was being deployed. So we were there, and they had the big ceremony, and she stood up and she was making all these grandiose speeches. And all of a sudden it became kind of a political thing about her being what she was going to do, this, that, and the other. And I frickin' near stood up. My wife pulled me back down because I was going to say, are we here to honor these troops that are being deployed or to listen to your goddamned re-election speech?
Yeah.
It was just infuriating.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, this stuff just goes on and on and on, and it's disgusting.
Mel, as we head toward the end of our allotted time, today in Washington, D.C., did you see those bunch of pompous-ass, supposedly law professors, constitutional professors? Did you see those bunch of squareheads? I mean, come on. I mean,
there's nothing worse than a snowflake professor. They're nothing but flaming liberals. That's the only mantra they know.
Exactly.
When my girls went to college, I all but wanted to go in. And, it became extremely frustrating because you could see the liberal slant that was being pushed at them daily.
Go ahead, finish out.
No, I was just going to say it was, to listen to the crap that the girls started to talk about and believe in because of these lame ass professors that they have in these colleges. I'm telling you, they ought to talk about draining a swamp. That's a major swamp that needs to be drained.
Yeah. Mel, the first one that got up there to speak, I don't remember his name, but if you threw a pair of glasses on him, he would look just like Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
He would look just like him. And Mel, as I told my grandkids, and all of them that were entering college, and we had 4 or 5 that's gone through so far. And each and every one of them, I told them, I said, hey, you're fixing to be before a bunch of professors that's going to try and convince you that they are the smartest people in the world. And I told them they know nothing outside of their realm of academia. They know nothing about real life. What they do know is a bunch of bullshit that they're going to try and convince you that is real. I said, you question everything they say, especially when it doesn't sound right, especially when it concerns the Constitution, especially when it concerns the health of our nation. And I said, so you take it upon yourself to find out the damn truth. And so that's the speech I gave my grandkids, and I give them a quiz every time they come home on spring break or whatever else. Because I want to know what it is they're thinking, what it is they're being taught. And I tell you, the first time the one of them came home and said socialism has the best health care in the world, I went through the frickin' roof and started showing her examples of socialized medicines. So she's since changed her tune. But Mel, anything else we should bring up?
Well, yeah. Let me bring up real quick the next Texas Council of Clubs and Independent Region 2 meeting. I now have a location, and it's going to be January 19th at 2 p.m. We're meeting at the Moose Lodge at 3210 Pleasant Valley Lane, Arlington, Texas. So mark that on your calendar, and I'll tell you what, go to our website for the Texas Council of Clubs and Independents. All you got to do is put in the search engine cocdfw.com. That's cocdfw.com. That'll take you to the website. Go down to the lower right-hand corner. Click on Request to Follow. We'll approve that, and what that does for you is as we post these calendars and meetings, and as other clubs post their events, you will get an email alerting you to these events that are about to happen a couple days before they happen.
Yeah.
So it's an easy way where you don't have to write down on a piece of paper, I got to remember this, or mark up a calendar. You'll get an email, and it'll have a date, place, and time on it where the event's going to happen and who's running the event.
There you go.
So that's the next meeting for the COCNI.
All right,
Region 2.
That event there in that particular spot, I can step out the studio, go to my neighbor's house, and steal a tricycle and ride it over there.
Right.
It's that close.
I figured you'd enjoy this one.
Yeah. So, always looking forward to a ride, even if it's a block.
Yep.
So, with that, everybody, have a great day. Have a great week. A great weekend. The weather is beautiful here in Texas. And ride safe, everybody. Ride safe.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.